Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, of all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit, acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today and gives us more understanding of the events of the past, for better understanding of the events that are currently happening on the earth. And again, so we can have the opportunity to understand the things that are soon happen here on the earth as well. I was kind of like going through my feed on YouTube and looking at the news and just thinking, kind of came to my mind about the 400-year prophecy coming to an end in a few days. And we know that our people have been over here getting, done wrong for more than 400 years. The Most High brought these nations over here in 1492, and they've been here wreaking havoc on our people and our land for hundreds of years. And what's amazing is looking at biblical prophecy being fulfilled here in our lands, the awakening of the true people, the Most High, setting up the people he wants to use to wake up the family, the people that he has chosen to use to call in the chosen Gentiles as well. And looking at the news feeds, it's been amazing because it's pretty much they're doing anything they can to keep people from recognizing or chasing the truth. Early this weekend, we were talking about Epstein killing himself, and did he really kill himself, or did someone else suicide him, or he had all this information and these people didn't want him to talk, so now people are pushed that way. A couple of days before that, some biblical prophecy about some foxes showing up at the Wailing Wall over there in Israel was a fulfillment of some other prophecy. And now, there's some event going on at the Temple Mount. And it's like they're trying their damnedest to make everybody look at every other place other than what's happening right under their noses. And then it shows you the desperation of the Gentiles and the other nations, the ones that are in the know. They're using everything that they can to keep people from seeing the awakening of the true people. And then when you go on social media, it's all over the place. The truth is right in front of your face, and you pretty much have to walk around with blinders on in order not to see it. Now, I know that they talk about in August 20th, 1619 was the first date that the Africans were brought over. But, like I said, our punishment isn't going on much longer than that. Is this a 400 years being brought to an end? Who knows? We don't know exactly, but what we do know is that things are changing. What we do know is that the Gentiles are getting desperate. They're not even really using the Bible to justify any of the stuff they talk about as far as prophecy is concerned. Earlier, I had read Baruch, and it talked about how the true Israelites were going to wake up in the lands of their captivity. When you go into Deuteronomy 28, it talks about us being called bywords. We're called by anything but our names. That's why we get called everything from Indians, natives, colored, black, African American, niggas. They just come up with anything that calls all these different bywords. That there alone is a fulfillment of prophecy. You'd have to have all of your nationality taken from you in order for you to be able to wake up in this land of captivity. You had to have been a captive. You have had to have had someone in your land taking your resources. You'd have to have someone in your land taking your resources and enslaving you, and sleeping with your wife, selling off your kids, breaking up your families. I mean, These prophecies don't fit anywhere over in the so-called Middle East. But now people are trying to use that as a time clock for the end days. We're already at the end. We've already been awakened out of our captivities. We've already had our heart softened so we can leave the message of who we are. We've already been brought other books in order to understand even more so where we are, where we came from. None of these prophecies that are actually written in the Bible fit the people over there in the so-called Middle East. And sometimes what gets me is that I sit here and I look at people that are so-called Arabs, and I look at other nations and things like that. I'm like, you guys, you realize that those aren't the people. So you guys must know, some of you guys must know who the real people are. And to watch how all the people in the world just play dumb, how they will not acknowledge the truth, how they just go through their lives enjoying, I guess, their blessings that are here and ignoring, like I said, the 800-pound gorilla in the corner. We're telling you that we're the people of the book. You prove it wrong. We're telling you that this is our land. You prove it wrong. We're bringing biblical, scriptural facts that's of, even from other books, that is now being substantiated with historical, facts as well. So why don't the other nations prove it wrong? They just try to trot out someone who has a PhD and says, well, you're wrong because I said so. That doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. So I might, be touching on this subject a little bit more, but like I said, as we come into this 400 years of, it's just a sign. Not necessarily saying anything is going to happen on that date, but you can just tell there's going to be a switch. The switch is already happening. And they're trying so hard to give you any information to keep you looking anywhere but here. You're looking at the news today and they're talking about like the farmers being bailed out with money this country doesn't have because of what the Most High did, ruining the crops this year. You're looking at the bankruptcies skyrocketing. You're looking at the trade war between China and the United States that is just accelerating. And, it's everywhere you look, there's nothing but trouble for the Gentiles now. You're looking at all the people that are immigrating here. You're looking at how, you can say this is a Christian country, and then they were in Mississippi and they rounded up like almost over 600 people and just took them and shipped them away. Could you imagine if you're a single mom and your child is at home and is expecting you to be back at a certain time, and then you're not allowed to go back to your home? Your child comes to the house and there's no one there for them. What kind of people do things like that? They talk about how important family is. But then they've always done this. They've always torn up families and not cared. Those are the same kinds of things that happen to our people, because those are our people. They're suffering some of the curses just like we do. So like I said, as we get closer to the end of this symbolic 400-year sentence, we'll be taking more looks and looking at more things, but that they're just going to have to increase all the things that they're doing in order to keep people looking in a wrong direction for the truth. As we continue to grow and get more knowledge and understanding and share with the people, and more people come into this knowledge and understanding, we're growing. And many of the other people who aren't into this are getting weaker and weaker day by day. So I pray that the people who are coming into this knowledge and understanding continue to pray for one another, continue to support each other, and continue to have your eyes open and just looking at how hard the other nations are working to try to keep us under wraps, to keep this knowledge and understanding under wraps. because at this point it's kind of comical, because like I said, these people don't fit over in the Middle East, don't fit any of the prophecies, don't fit any of the things that are happening. And people, the vast majority of the world doesn't want to have that debate about who are the true Hebrews, who are the true timepieces of the end days. I'm here to let these people know, let the world know, that us, the people over here, the Israelites, are over here in the Americas, and we've been awakened. And now we're just watching how the Gentiles are clinging on to their little vestige of power, by the edge of their fingernails now, because they know that they've come to the end of their reign. And just like when we were getting all the omens and we were terrified, that terror is now coming to them. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.